Last night I finished reading Homeseeking by Karissa Chen. This is my first book that I've received from Book of the Month, and what an excellent book I ended up picking. She is a debut author, but this is such an impressive book for any author, and the fact that she's a debut author is just breathtaking to me. It's historical fiction, it's a love story stretched over decades, it's family drama, world events happening and shaking things up in people's lives every which way it could. But the characters are just amazing. There are two protagonists, I'd say. One is Suchi. She and her family live in the area of Shanghai, China. Her father owns a bookshop, and not too far away there's a relatively new family, and they have a son about her age, Haiwan. He plays the violin, and they come from a little bit wealthier family, not super rich, but wealthier. They own several businesses. Suchi and Haiwan meet in their neighborhood. They become really good friends and best friends. Eventually, as they start getting into their teens, they fall in love, and then it becomes like a first love situation. The overarching thing that kind of disrupts their lives entirely are world events. So the story kind of starts during World War II and during the Japanese occupation of parts of China. After the Japanese surrender during World War II, at the end, other world events happen, revolutionary or civil war within China. Haiwan signs up to fight in it, not because he has any particular loyalty to one side or the other. He does it for a whole different reason, kind of an ultimate sacrifice thing. Don't want to say too much more than that. When he does that, he gets separated from his family, but also from his first love, Suchi. They don't see each other again, and frankly, they probably don't even know if the other is living anymore until several decades later. All the way into 2008 we go, and Haiwan and Suchi meet in a grocery store of all places in LA. And after all these decades of not seeing each other, not knowing if the other is alive, not knowing whatever happened, still having those feelings of love and want and need for the other person, they finally meet. So it covers their story through all these decades and all these troubles and trials and tribulations they've gone through. One thing I have to say about the presentation of this book that I thought the author really was brave was each chapter was dedicated to each protagonist. So you'd have one from Suchi, then you'd go to another one from Haiwan. But that's not the brave part. The brave part is, in my view, the chapters of Suchi cover the time previously, like in China, 1940s, 1930s, 40s, 50s. Whereas when we start on the chapters with Haiwan, we start in 2008 and work our way back. And so it's such a unique and risky proposition from a debut author. I have to give her all the credit in the world because it actually worked. It was not confusing. And the detail in here when it comes to the environment, the events, the food, a lot of the cultural things. But perhaps the best thing about the book is capturing those emotions, capturing the complexity of these relationships and the family drama and the love and the good relationships and the bad. It just really delicately but effectively covered all of that. I have to give this debut author 4.3 to 4.5 stars for this debut novel. So ambitious, so well done, so touching. It hit a lot of spots for me. If it sounds like you would enjoy this, I encourage you to check it out. It just came out earlier this month. Have you read this yet? Have you read anything similar to this where you weren't sure about some innovative book, the way the author had written it, and then you read it and you're like, wow, that was genius. It really worked. If so, let's talk about it in the comments.